In the meantime, Facebook is the mobile king, make no mistake about it. That's according to a new report from Comscore on the digital habits of millennials, those that are lucky enough to be 18 to 33. But advertisers take note, it's the middle-aged shoppers, what we will kindly call Generation Xers, that are spending most online. That's according to Comscore's co-founder, Jen Fulgoni, who joins us now exclusively from Chicago. Good morning.
Morning.
So the middle-aged are the biggest spenders, but the report's about millennials because that's what everybody's focused on, correct?
That's right. The 18 to 34-year-old segment has long been the focus of marketers, not so much because of their spending power, because actually it's a little lower than average, but because it's believed that if you can establish loyalty to your brand early on in somebody's life, you have a better chance of then maintaining that brand loyalty as the person ages. So that's why there is this focus on the younger segment.
Before we work our way through the metrics that you've come up with, let's just punch out the fact that Facebook still has an astounding performance, despite what some people may say.
Yeah, we're not seeing any evidence that the millennials are reducing their time spent on Facebook. In fact, somewhere around about an hour of their time per day is spent on the Facebook app. In total, they spend about 4 hours a day online. So they're very, very heavy digital users and very heavy social users.
I guess combining what you found here with social and specifically with e-commerce and spending, what's the biggest takeaway for advertisers?
Well, I think they have the challenge of having to focus on the millennials for the reasons I outlined a minute ago. But you can't ignore that middle-aged segment, that 35 to 54-year-old segment, because that's where the spending power really lies. And their index of spending power is about 25% higher than average. And so you really have to spread your wings a little wider than maybe you would ideally like, and that kind of increases the costs a little, I think, for any marketer.
Yeah, there always used to be an argument, of course, that people who were middle-aged were less likely to be swayed by advertising, which also would account for why you have that focus on millennials, less subject to peer pressure. Also, it would be said anyway.
Yeah, I suspect that theory is maybe changing a little today, because I think that the millennials are a little more skeptical, maybe a lot more skeptical today than people used to be about advertising, and maybe believe that it doesn't affect them as much as it might affect other segments. But the other reason, though, to think about millennials from an advertiser perspective is the way that their digital habits are different from older people, especially in the way that they're consuming video and the way that they're watching television. And they are much, much heavier viewers of video and television content on these mobile devices.
Yes.
And that's something that's of great concern to all the advertisers, coupled with a question about whether, as they age, will their behavior patterns revert back to some degree to mimic more of the older people. Yeah. That's a big unknown question at the moment.
It's interesting that exact point was highlighted by the CEO of Verizon on the program a couple of sessions ago. Jan, we've run out of time. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. Jan Fulgoni from Comscore in Chicago.
Let's send it over now to John.